Seeking English, S.A.T. Workbook, page 417, problem 4, no calculator, and do not even think about trying to apply a calculator to this. This is a conceptual thing that has to do with how statistical distributions work. And if you really internalize this one, it will definitely help you on some similar problems. Okay, and if you're just barely able to do it, I want you to be better than that on the test. Okay, it says a study of ant colonies in a region revealed that the median colony population was 2,200 ants. That's the median, meaning half of the scores are above that and half of the scores are below that. And mean colony population is 2,400. So the mean is larger than the median. Which of the following situations could explain the difference between the mean and median ant colony population in this region? So it says explain, and that probably means explain better or more persuasively from a scientific standpoint, from a math standpoint, than the other answers. So you're not just looking for a statement that could be consistent with it. You're looking for a statement that would begin to answer the question of what's going on there. Okay, so letter A says the colonies have populations that are close to each other, presumably in size. If the other three answers are all bad, this is a viable answer just because there's no way to say that it's not true. Okay, I can't be sure whether somebody would agree or disagree with it. But if the other three answers were horrible, this would be a good answer. Okay, letter B. There are a few colonies that have populations much less than the rest, or populations that are much fewer. This begins to sound like the right kind of explanation, but this is the problem. A few colonies if a few colonies are pulling the mean away from the median, a smaller colony would be pulling a smaller outlier, a thing further to left on the graph, would be pulling the mean away from the median to the left of the graph, to the left side of the graph. Okay, so it's similar to the effect that is described or hinted at, but it's in the opposite direction. So it's probably a bad answer for that reason. It would make A a comparatively good reason. Letter C, there are a few colonies that have populations much higher than the rest, meaning greater. And that is similar to letter B, except that the directional problem is corrected. If you have large colonies that are outliers, they will pull the mean to the right side of the graph. They'll pull the mean upward away from the median. So that's a pretty good explanation. Okay, it's certainly better than B, and it's certainly better than A. Okay. Letter D says many of the colonies' populations are between 2,200 and 2,400, and this is a problem for a couple of reasons. One reason is that it suggests a concentration of scores. Many meaning, I don't know. It's not clear whether it means a majority or what. But if you wanted to characterize them as many, then you would think that they'd have the effect of bringing the mean into that range between there. And instead, the mean is 2004 is at the edge of that. So it just doesn't sound like the right explanation for that. And in the extreme case, I can make a plausible scenario in which the story that we're told in the question could be true, and the description here could be the opposite of the truth. So they're potentially opposite to each other. I mean, there's the problem I described of the where's the mean. But in this case, think about this, and this is really important, and this is why I've shot this video. We'll call it several times, okay, to make sure that I get this explanation correct for you. What if there were no data at all from 2,200 up to 2,400? What if there were not one ant colony, okay, that couldn't be described as having fewer than 2,200 or more than 2,400? Could the story itself still be true? Okay? I'm not going to reread the story, but you see that, yes, that story could still be true, and letter D could be completely false. The word many is absolutely incompatible with the number 0. Okay? So D could be absolutely a false statement, and the story that it describes could still be true. So this is actually the worst answer. This is worse than letter A. Okay? If B and C were not here, and you had to choose between A and D, A would be the better answer because it at least doesn't have any obvious means. It doesn't provide any obvious scenario in which the two things would be totally incompatible. I don't know if I still don't know if I've explained this last point very well, but it is worth understanding. So please, if it did not make sense to you, tell me, and I will go over it again. I've shot the video a couple of times to try to get this explanation completely clear, because if it doesn't make any difference on this question, it could make a difference on a real question on a real test. Letter D, there could potentially be no data at all in the area described that it's telling you there are many colonies. And the story that is told at the top of this problem could still be absolutely true. Think about it.